Hello, beautiful souls. Thanks again for joining me for this week's Soulmate Oracle reading. Okay, it's official. We are coming to the end, complete end of Mercury retrograde, and we're still going to be going through the shadow phase for another couple of weeks, 2 weeks usually. So you may still get a little bit of the frustration or chaotic energy with what we talked about previously on Mercury retrograde. But as things start to settle in and balance in our lives, we realize now is a time to reflect and start over, and maybe it's time to make that decision to do it now. Sometimes we have to make these decisions. Sometimes we have certain factors that prevent us from making the decisions. But what I try to do in each reading is I try to give out as much of the messages that are coming through from the divine just to help you and empower your life. Like I said, this is not intended to how to create your life in a sense where I'm telling you, but more of like the messages that are coming through and you use them because there's many different meanings. I mean, it goes around every type of love connection, soul connection, spiritual connection, whatever you're going through. It's to help you find the love in your life. We are ultimately looking for the divine soulmate. We want to be with the one that is meant for us, for life partnership. And sometimes it's not that easy for some of us. And sometimes we have to go through some little bit of challenges, some obstacles in our way, but it's all good. It's all meant to help us to gain strength, and sometimes we have to go through it so that we can feel better about ourselves in the long run. I know it's not an easy task, so I have to retract what I just said. It's not easy, but for your highest good, it's good for you. It's good for you to get through it and move on, move forward, move towards what empowers you to be better in your life. Or maybe it's just to hang in there, have the patience, do whatever you need to do. That's what I try to go around every situation. I don't know yours specifically, but whatever messages you get from this reading or any reading, you need to write them down and let them absorb. And I always talk about letting a reading absorb for at least 24 hours because that is the most difficult time for us to let our energies absorb it, because we have sometimes ego-based energy. You may go back and forth, read over your notes, watch the video over again and say, I don't understand, but I do, and you're trying to get the message. Well, don't stress about it. Write it down, meditate over it, and it'll come to you. They don't resonate all the time with me when I get a reading, but after a while, they may resonate with you and me, that we understand what the message was because we do have ego. So anyways, I've shuffled the cards and I've asked for guidance on what we need to know in order for us to take with us to use for this time as we come to the end of Mercury retrograde, and it ends on April 15th. The cards that I've used, and one of my favorite decks, Oracle of the Unicorns. Beautiful cards. I can just stare into them. And they're very vivid, as you can see, the colors. If any of you love unicorns, they're just so magical. Okay, so the first card that I pulled, anger. And as you can see, this unicorn, I do like the dark colors, but this unicorn is angry, and this unicorn has some issues. As I tried to focus in on this card and I played around with the camera, can't seem to get it. I will just read it. It says, safely express your anger. Use anger as a positive force. Honor all of your emotions as sacred. Now, as you can see, there we go. This unicorn is angry, not specifically at one person, but there's some type of energy that is being reflected here. We are going through a lot of change getting out of Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde does sometimes change us. And if you have went through difficult times with a specific love relationship, maybe there was some things that were said during retrograde. I see this all the time. That's why I'm saying retrograde encourages a lot of necessary, deep communication that we shouldn't be doing during Mercury retrograde. And I did caution everybody at the beginning of Mercury retrograde. But it happens. And don't beat yourself up of what you may have said and what you may have done, or if you went through a breakup, because the retrograde did not actually cause all of this. The retrograde is, like I said, an influence, but there was some anger issues that were, you know, accumulating inside of you. And as they were accumulating, it got to the point where you said, I need to speak my truth, which is a good thing. Actually, when you speak your truth, when you bring it out, Mercury retrograde may not have been the ideal time, but it had to happen. So whatever had to been said, maybe it was lingering on for so long that it had to have been said. Like I said, it's all about what you should have done before you did today. So now that things have happened, you're angry, he's angry. The both of you feel this anger energy, but now you can talk about things, or you can heal from it. Let it go. Let it go to the point where you're saying, you know what? If I didn't do this, we would have been just spinning our wheels. We would have been going on another 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I mean, how long it took you to say what you had to say. Don't regret it. Don't look on this. The anger had to have been brought out so that you can release it, let go. Like I always talk about release and surrender. So this is one of those times the anger is still lingering on, but you don't want it to get the best of you. So I highly recommend that you try not to dwell into it, but more of like take a step out of the anger. You said what you said what you had to say, and let nature take its course. Let the divine guide you into what path you need to take. Maybe it's meant for you not to be in this relationship right now. Maybe there is something that you need to clear in your divine soul connection with this person. And maybe they need to clear it as well. Maybe there's a separation that has to happen and you had to do what you had to do. I can't tell you what the best route for you to take. You take what you need, because I feel like the anger is still lingering and you need to just let it go for a little while and focus on yourself so that you can express yourself, but though not to the point where you're hurting yourself, because anger does hurt. Anger does reflect a lot of pain energy. Okay, so the next card, Rebirth. Reinvent yourself. Give life to your dreams. Create a new reality. Okay, beautiful card, beautiful colors. And as you can see, this beautiful unicorn is in this beautiful, lovely orange, pink rose. Oh, the colors are so spring-like. And I'm motivated. I love it. It also reflects a lot of the sacral chakra. So you may be feeling like a rebirth coming from within, from deep inside your core. That's where it all starts. We reflect a lot and give into what is truth inside of our core. When we don't allow ourselves to be ourselves, we are not transforming and going through the rebirth. This card is signifying that Divine Feminine wants a new beginning. The Divine Feminine is changing. Just like the Divine Masculine has anger issues, the Divine Feminine wants a new change, a new beginning. So just like I said, with the anger coming from within, and you've expressed yourself, you've allowed what truth had to be told, or you've allowed yourself to bring out your inner peace so that you can feel the rebirth happening. This is all about you changing. This is all about giving in and release and surrender. Because when you hold back, when you're holding in like this feeling that you're getting, maybe it's a love feeling, but though at the same time it's a pain feeling, and you're holding back because you're afraid, you have some type of issue that you think that maybe it's not going to work out, so you just continue on with doing what you're doing. Divine Feminine is tired. Divine Feminine wants a change, and she's definitely looking into this beautiful rose. She wants life to just start all over again, and you can have that. Maybe it's a new beginning. Maybe you've gotten out of a toxic or negative or intense relationship that really never did you anything, and all it did was cause you pain. it's a rebirth time, rebirth of yourself, rebirth of light. Maybe it's not the time for you to come to a divine union. Maybe you both, like I said, need to rework on yourself, reevaluate what you both need. Sometimes it happens that you actually become friends all over again. I see this. And the relationship happens all over again, that you're friends and then you're lovers again. When something starts off in a rocky start, when it's negative or it just didn't go in the right direction, sometimes it has to reset. Press the reboot button or reset button or however you want to call this. It's all about changing things up a bit so that you can feel recharged. And that's the best way to look at it. It's not necessarily meant for you to take things down and just start over again in a new relationship, or maybe it is, because we are coming to new beginnings and new changes, but you have to look at what is best for you. Are you truly happy with this person, or are you just codependent that you want this person in your life because you're afraid of being alone and you don't want to go through that? Maybe you're looking at, I need to separate myself and take some time out, but I'm afraid that maybe this person is not ever going to come back into my life. That's where you need to say, you know what, I need to look at what is truth in my life and what is pure in my life, and how do I find the love that I need in my life. If you're looking at everything and putting everything out there and saying it has to be done now and I need to make it happen right now, you're actually going into an impulsive mode, and you need to reflect. Like I've always said, meditate on things, prayer, ask the angels, ask God to guide you, because you're going to get the message. I can only transform the message of what they're being received to me. Like I said, I sometimes don't understand why I get the messages, but they are messages. They are coming from the divine so that it can help you find what you need to do in your life to get where you need to get to find love. Okay, so let's go to the next card. Receive. Beautiful woman, very beautiful woman holding a purple crystal. And this unicorn is so beautiful. I love the colors. I hope you can see them with this ring light. I've tried changing the ring light. I've tried changing the different color shades. It's just not going to work. This is the best way. Okay, so anyways, let me clear that up. Okay. Receive. Be open to receiving goodness. Believe you are worthy of abundance. A gift is coming to you soon. And that is the message. You're getting something. Something is happening. I mean, yes, you may know what your wish is. And maybe that person coming back into your life is your ultimate wish, because that person has been apart from you for so long, and it's time to start over again with that person, maybe a new relationship, and that may be so. Or it may be something where a new relationship is coming into your life, and it was the best thing that you left behind the previous relationship so that you can make room for a new beginning. Now, everything that's happened in your life recently, maybe you thought that it would be in your best interest to start over again, and you may have tried it. You may have found that nobody compares to that person if you are involved with a spiritual connection. Sometimes spiritual connections happen to help us to gain sight of something that we are not looking at. And I can't tell you that everyone is meant for a life partnership, because it's just impossible to say that, because we are sent so many different types of soul connections, and some are meant to help us to grow, and some of them are to help us see things that we haven't seen in our life, and you realize later that, oh, now I know what that meant. Now I know why that person was in my life, and that's my diffuser just went out, the little beep. But anyways, so it's time for you to examine what that is and accept it, receive it. Allow it to come through. Allow it to transform you. Maybe that relationship that you were just involved with, breaking up with them, maybe it's been so long that maybe it's time to move forward in your life and open yourself. Maybe you're not allowing yourself to receive a new feeling of love. Sometimes you don't realize it because The ego is there, the ego-based energy. And a lot of us go through this because we feel like we were supposed to be with that person. It's actually the mind. There is no love. There is no spiritual connection. There is nothing. You don't feel anything for that person. But your mind says, hey, we had a relationship. Maybe we had a child. Maybe we didn't have one. Maybe we had a dog together. Maybe we just worked out so well and you just have great memories with that person. But you have to think, maybe that person was just great memories. And we do need experience to get through things. It's time to really examine what it is that you need to receive the abundance of light, of love in your life. Now, I can't tell you what that may be because only you know. Many times, there is a spiritual connection. You can't let go of that person. You can't cut the ties. I've always said with spiritual connections, you can't cut the ties. Now, I can't tell you exactly what type of spiritual connection, what type of soulmate you share. I can only give you the examples and I can feel the energies, what you may be going through, and you are the one that can confirm if it is actually a divine soulmate, because you're the one that is experiencing it. I can feel it, but I can't say for sure. You know, you're the one that has to go through the process of understanding it, because many times it's a life lesson. Life lessons come and go, and I'm sure you went through them and you understand totally what I'm talking about, because we all go through them, maybe when we're very young, sometimes when we're older. But whatever they are, they're there to help us to grow, and we are there to help them. Sometimes we could be with someone for X amount of years, living in a relationship as a marriage, a commitment relationship, whatever it may be, and we break up and we wonder, why did we spend all that time with that person, but there was no soul connection because it fades out? Well, that was a purpose, and you know, you have to look at what it gave you, what you received from it. Sometimes it's a good life, sometimes it's good memories, sometimes it's children, sometimes it's just us being who we are so that we can empower ourselves with light, with love, and having the experience. So I can't tell you what that may be, but you need to just open yourself. I know I'm going on, but I'm feeling like a message is happening and you need to just absorb it and you need to understand it. Okay, let's go to the next card. Abundance. Oh, very beautiful. I love it. If you can see it. Okay, abundance. And very colorful, very typical rainbow wings and a rainbow on top. I love rainbows too. They're just so empowering with light. And as this card says, abundance. Enjoy the bounty of life. Your supply is limited. Blessings are coming to you. So as this card is showing you a light, a love, feelings of joy, and walking through the flowers, and if we can be so simple, if we can just experience that, would be phenomenal. Okay, we would love everything about the abundance of light, but we don't go through that. Sometimes we go through a lot of difficult anger issues with people. Maybe that person that you've been around a lot is giving you anger issues. Maybe it's time to reconsider, why is this person or friend giving me all this anger? The anger is coming from something else. It's not necessarily you are an angry, bitter person, but you are absorbing something. And I said before, this is not about you arguing or putting out negativity out. No, it's about reflecting and starting over in your life, because in order to receive abundance of blessings, you need to be ready. Many times it's all about you letting go of negativity, letting go of what has been holding you back from feeling light, from feeling love, to experiencing the divine union with your twin flame. You're not getting there because your twin is not ready. You're not ready. You may have not met the divine partner that is meant for you in your life, and thinking that I need to find a specific type. That's another thing that I've talked about before. Never go looking for the specific type, because it's only going to confuse you, because everybody has a destiny to pursue. Some will meet the twin flame, some will meet the twin ray, some will meet just the compatible soulmate that they are meant to be with. Whatever your situation is, it's time for you to look at your life and say, it's time for me to change things. I need to change it up. I need to go from A to Z and look at everything and release it. If I don't do it, I'm not going to be receiving the abundance of love in my life. When you put out love, remember this, it's contagious. Other people can feel it. Other people can sense what you're going through, what you're experiencing. And if you're allowing negativity to constantly bring you down with anger, that anger is never going to be released. You're always going to be bitter inside. It's also coming with pain. It's a pain body. It's also pain that maybe you're living in. You're living with pain because you're angry inside. I highly recommend to focus on yourself. I highly recommend that this is a time to start over again and fall in love with yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but you are your own BFF. There is a part of you that is not saying what you want, okay? It's kind of like there's two people inside, and one is saying, I need love. I need to feel love. And the other side is saying, you can't have it. You know why? Because you are not worthy of it. You are not deserving of it. Guess what? That part that is feeling the love goes all the way down. The vibration just completely spirals down and you never get the feeling of love. So how are you supposed to attract a person to love you? Seriously. If you're always looking at the glass half empty, if you're always looking at things as never going to change and you're never going to find the love that you need in your life, even though you may be married or you're involved with someone that it seems like a good relationship, but it's not going anywhere, you need to start loving yourself that maybe it might go somewhere because they can sense it. It's contagious. You're putting out the vibration of, I am not worthy of love, or I am not going to give out love because I don't deserve it. And however you're feeling inside, it's time to change that. Abundance of light is coming into your life, the abundance of blessings. There is a miracle going to happen. Changes are going to happen. That's what these messages are telling you. The messages are go, 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 go for it, do it. It's time, rebirth, start over again. Be the person you are to receive the light, to receive the love, because it's being given to you. This is what this message is all about. We've been working on ourselves since the beginning of the year. We've been talking about the energy exchanges that we're getting from each other. We're talking about the energy shifts that has been happening in our lives. Now is the time. It's starting over again. It's being prepared. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this reading and that it resonated with you, because I have to say this reading resonated with me, and the messages that I've gotten, that I've given to you, I've also resonated with many of them that I'm going to be using. So if it didn't resonate with you, that's fine. Maybe there's someone you know that it can resonate with them, or it's something similar to what they're going through, that you may just forward it to them so that they can get the message. Now, like I said, I make these readings more generalized messages coming from the divine. I am not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm here to advise and just help everyone motivate themselves to do the best that they can, because we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. I am not perfect. I'm far from it. And we have to really focus on what truth is inside of ourselves to empower it so we can use it to our highest good. Also, if you'd like to get your own personal reading, I do offer phone, chat, and email readings, and the links are down below on any one of my websites. Also, check out my articles on soulmates and twin flames. I have several different blogs in the description area, and you may want to check out my YouTube channel with videos about soulmates, twin flames, Q&A. I do offer these readings on a weekly basis. I try my best to get them out on Saturday or Sunday. As many of you know, I've been trying to get them out there as quickly as possible. But if you do have a question, please post them in the comments area. I do try my best to answer them as quickly as possible. Now, the readings have been backed up a little bit, and it's not that I can't get to everybody all at once, but I try my best to do it as first come, first serve. So I have a system. When you fill out the form, it automatically gets into a star mode where I press a star and I know who's first and who's comes in order, and if that makes sense. So if you send me an email, I may be able to see it, but 9 out of 10 times I don't, because I'm just so overwhelmed with so many emails, and it's just like my inbox just gets totally full, and it takes me a while. I have to sit back and I do have to do that, especially now with Mercury retrograde, so now I can get back on track on everything now it's over with. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I hope you can, and I want to thank all my subscribers and all the support that my followers have given me, because it's making me feel empowered deep inside, and I want to do more for you all, and I'm going to. I do plan on making my live video, so stay tuned. I will announce it when I'm prepared and ready for it. It's just been so many things going on. It's been crazy. Anyways, I just want to wish you all a lot of peace, love, and light. God be with you. Namaste.